Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's workout is a full body burn. All you'll need is an inflatable Pilates ball and a set of light to medium dumbbells. Let's get after it. While we warm up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about today's workout. It is only 25 minutes. If I were to describe it in 2 words, I would say quick and effective. I promise you, by the end, you will probably be sweating because I know I was, but it's designed to really hit all of your major muscle groups and give you a really good, challenging workout. We're going to start off today's session focused on some mobility for your warm-up. So I want you to take your left fingertips behind your ear, and we're just focusing on rotating through your thoracic spine. So we're taking our elbow down, pulling it as much as we can, getting some really nice rotation. I want you to think about inhaling as you open up and then exhaling as you bring that elbow down. And start to pay attention to how your body feels here. After a couple of reps, you likely will start to feel that stretch get a little bit deeper. Maybe you can get a little bigger range of motion with each and every rep that you do here. And don't forget about syncing each of these with your breath. Now let's get into the other side. We're going to reach over, walk our fingertips, get some nice lateral flexion into our spine here. I want you to really think about, while we're in this side bend, bringing some of that oxygen and that breath into your outside lung. So into that outside rib cage. Think about expanding as you breathe here. We're pausing for a few more seconds before we're going to get into that rotation, and we'll do the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to take now our right fingertips behind our ear and rotate down towards our mat and then open ourselves back up. Again, always thinking about our breath. So it's that big exhale as you come down, that big inhale as you open up, just really focusing on getting as much rotation as you can, getting some mobility into our spine because we will definitely need it for today's session. Last few here, let's really focus on deepening that stretch as much as we can, really trying to pull that right shoulder down. It's almost like you're trying to square your shoulders to your mat. Big inhale, big exhale. Last one, and bring it in. We're going to continue with that mobility work. I want you to bring your feet out wider than hips width apart here. We're going to reach your left fingertips forward, your right hand goes back, and we'll do the same side on the opposite side. Right hand goes forward, left hand goes back. So each hand, it's almost like you're trying to make a straight line with your arms. It's hard to see my back arm here, but my back arm is really straight behind. I'm kind of gazing at that back hand to really deepen the stretch here. You're reaching your front hand fingertips as close to your toes as you can and trying to bring, it's almost like you're trying to bring your ear to your bicep. So letting that chest come down a little bit and really twisting through your upper spine here. You may feel a nice stretch through your hamstrings. You can pause for a second if that stretch feels good, but we're keeping this dynamic because we're warming up our body versus how we stretch at the end of a workout. We'll do a few more together here. Reach it forward. Again, focusing on deepening the stretch each and every rep after you get a couple under your belt. Finishing strong here. Last one. And let's bring it in. Switching gears a little, let's focus on warming up our abdominals. I want you to find your sit bones, the bony structures under your glutes, and you're going to sit tall on those sit bones. I want you to find some flexion to your spine. So you're going to round through your spine, and I want you to flatten your back. And think about we're exhaling as we draw ourselves up, inhaling as we roll our spine back, creating a really big C curve and finding the balance of our sit bones each and every time. So you're leaning it back, really rolling, pull your abdominals in, really tight belly button towards your spine. And then I want you to exhale, find the balance of your sit bones. Next up, we're coming down to the floor for one of my favorite abdominal warm-ups. We're going to do a roll-up. So I want you to lay down flat on your back, arms behind your head, nod through your chin, roll up one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow and controlled. Think of this as a more challenging sit-up because your legs are long. Our goal here is to not use any momentum at any point. We're using the strength of our core, starting from a lying position with our arms reaching back, and then we slowly lower ourselves back down and repeat. One vertebra at a time on the way down, on the way up. Think about really pulling, rounding through your spine, that round shape that we just practiced while keeping your abs really active. So belly pulled in towards your spine and slowly lower. We're going to keep working that core. Now we're going to focus on our deep core. So I want you to find a quadruped position on your knees and on your hands. Couple cat-cows just to warm you up. Then I want you to reach your left hand out and your right leg out. Briefly tap in between each. Pay attention to keeping a braced core here. I don't want the shape of your spine to change at all through any of these moves. From here, we're going to hold the next one. We're going to do little lifts. So I want you to hold here, little lifts, ankle lifts, wrist lift, lift, and then we're going to hold and we're going to go out wide. We're going to go out wide away from our center, and then we're going to come back to our midline. So I want you to reach your left hand out wide, your right leg out wide, and then come back to center. A few more here. Reach it out, bring it in, reach it out, bring it in, really stabilizing through that deep core. So transverse abdominis really tight and controlled. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Right hand reaches out straight, left leg reaches out straight, keeping energy through our fingertips, through our toes. Shape of your spine not changing, so the core is staying rock solid here. As you reach everything out long into a straight line, you bring it down briefly in between each, and then we're going to lift for those pulses. On the next one, let's lift. Little pulse here. Pulse and pulse. Not arching through your back. Core still stays really tight. We're going to hold high. We find that hold. We go out wide. Our leg goes out wide. Our hand goes out wide. And then we squeeze back into our midline. Last few, move with control, not letting anything sway side to side. Bring it in. Big exhale as everything comes to that midline. Inhale as you open it up. Keep your hips and shoulders square. And break. Next up, we have a plank series. So I want you to start on your knees. You're going to walk left foot out, right foot out, and then return to both of your knees. So briefly tapping your knees down in between each. Think about using your lower abdominals to help you reach those legs out long. We're going to transition from here after this last set of our walkouts to what I like to call a flamingo plank. So I want you to keep your left knee bent. It's almost like a downward dog variation. You're going to reach your hips to the sky, pressing hard through those hands, keeping that left knee bent, and you lower it down, letting your head tuck down by your biceps. As you reach your tailbone to the sky, take a second, reset. Those are a killer. That's you showing me my challenge face. And we're going to switch to the right side. Same thing. So tailbone reaching for the ceiling. That right knee is staying bent. You're keeping an anchor through your left toes. Ears come towards your biceps as you lift. Head comes down and all that weight is dumping into your hands. Big exhale as you press it up and lower it down. Our last plank variation here, I want you to walk your feet back like you're doing a regular plank, but you're going to connect your heels. So your toes are separate, but your heels are connected. A little froggy plank here. So you're going to bend your knees back, send your hips back, and shift the weight away from your wrist, and then you come back to your full plank. So you're bending, your knees are a little bit wider than your mat as you bend it back, and then you're pushing yourself forward. Last few, bring it back and forward. Big exhale as you come forward, inhale as you send it back. Now it's time to grab those props and really get to work. So you're going to sit on that ball. Think about the area where the tag of your pants would be. That's where you want that ball in contact with your body. You're going to tuck your pelvis forward and you're going to grab your light dumbbells. I want you to hold those dumbbells at your chest. We're going to do a ball crunch series here. So I want you to hinge yourself back. Think about not extending through your back so that you're creating an arch through your lumbar spine. You're going to crunch yourself forward. You're leaning back to feel that challenge through the front of your core, and then you're reaching it back. Now I want you to extend your arms long. You're going to lean back. Same thing. You're going to reach those dumbbells up to the ceiling. Lower yourself down. Big exhale as you come to the top. Inhale as you bring it down. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. Core stays really tight here. And now I want you to twitch side to side. So we're going to get our obliques into the fun. So hold those dumbbells at your chest. You're going to rotate side to side. Really trying to square off those shoulders as much as you can with that rotation. Feeling some of that challenge through your obliques by leaning yourself back. It's like you're trying to meet your elbow down to the mat. Now we're going to do what I like to call the around the world. You're going to hold those weights at your chest and you're going to imagine you're tracing a big circle with the top of your head on the ceiling. I want you to try to move as slow as you can. The slower, the better here. I don't want you using any momentum from that ball. You're going to exhale as you come forward and you're going to inhale as you lower yourself down in that circle. You're picking one direction. We're only moving in one direction to start. Going as slow as you can, no momentum here, and then we're going to switch directions and do the same thing the opposite direction. Nice and slow circle, trying to trace the same circle each and every time, really leaning back, feeling your abdominals work in every direction. So those obliques are working, that rectus abdominis is working, your core is pulled in really tight, staying active through your trunk as you lean it back and forward. These look a little silly, but I promise they're very effective. Last one, let's finish strong here. Big circle around, nice and slow as you can, and take a second. Let's take it all the way down to our back. I want you to hold that ball in your right hand. You're gonna keep your right knee bent here, and I want you to reach your left straight leg up to the sky, and you're gonna crunch outside of that left leg. So you're gonna reach up and twist, really rotating, trying to square off your shoulders towards the back of the room, but you're gonna keep that left leg really long. As you pike that left leg up to the sky, and twist to get your obliques really challenged. Then I want you to take the ball to the base of your thigh and you're going to roll the ball up your thigh and then lower it down. So you're really crunching as you reach for that ankle with the ball and then slowly lowering yourself back down. Challenge option is to keep that leg lifted. This one gets super challenging. You'll see in a second as I start to move a little bit slower, but I really want you to use the full length of your leg to reach for that ankle as you bring it down and push it up Exhaling as you reach to the tippy top, really trying to reach for those toes and lower it down. We're going to then move on here where you're going to take your right elbow and connect it with your left thigh. So your left thigh has the ball, your right elbow has the ball, and you're going to press into that ball. So this is like a side oblique crunch. You're pressing your elbow into the ball and you're pressing your thigh against the ball. So they're both actively pushing to squeeze on that ball. On the next one, we're gonna hold tension, and I just want you to take that right leg and you're gonna reach your right toes to the sky and lower it down. You got this. This one is so tough. It is brutal. Try to stay twisted with that upper body. Really meet that connection with the ball in your thigh, and give yourself a second before you switch sides. Back to the top, ball is in your left hand. Your right leg is the one straight, and you're reaching to the outside of your right thigh as you crunch to twist and bring it down. So you're really trying to square off those shoulders as much as you can. Really lift off through your shoulder blades to rotate here before you bring it down. We have those roll-ups up next. So you start at the base of your thigh, you roll for those toes, and you slowly lower yourself down. Keeping your leg lifted is more of a challenge. You can rest your leg in between each rep if you need a little reset. But really trying to roll it up with control. This is when it starts to get sticky, when it starts to get challenging. And if you're like me, you may need a little reset before the last two, but we're going to finish strong. We're going to reach for those toes. Last one coming up. We're at the base of that thigh. We really roll, reach, 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 reach. I was really struggling. I am right there with you. And give yourself a second to reset before our next series, which is when you're connecting that thigh with your ball and that elbow with the ball as well. So now the ball is in between. Your right thigh is against the ball, your left elbow is against, and we're doing those side crunches. So you're bringing, for 5 crunches, you're bringing your knee to your elbow, squeezing that ball in between each. And then we're going to hold that lift with our rotation. I need a second, obviously. You're going to hold, really try to twist as much as you can. And we're reaching with our left toes. So that left leg is really straight. We reach for the sky. We lower it down. Last few here. Reach and lower. Hold that core really tight. Hold that twist. And give yourself a well-deserved break. Next up, we're going to stay lying down on your back, and I want you to find an ab curl here. So you're clearing your shoulder blades off the mat. We're going to do 10 switches on each side. Legs really straight. Nice point to your toes. Think energy through your legs. I want you to pass that ball in between your legs, breathing in between each. Really try to clear those shoulder blades off. Stay strong with that lift. Make sure your chin isn't completely to your chest. It's a nice lift. We pass. And we bring it down to reset. We're going to keep working those abs, but I want you to grab those dumbbells again here. We're going to find a tabletop with your knees. The ball is in between your knees, dumbbells in hand. You're going to crunch. For 5 crunches, you're going to lift your shoulder blades off, lower those dumbbells down. Big exhale as you reach. Inhale as you lower it down. On the last one, we're going to hold the lift. We hold here, we squeeze on that ball. I want you to squeeze with those inner thighs. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. You got this, lift and break. Next up, we're leveling it up, very similar motion. So instead of keeping our knees in tabletop as we crunch up, I want you to give me a full extension of those legs forward. So you lower it down, you exhale, reach, extend those legs out. Try to keep energy through those toes. So a nice point to your toes, really flex through your quads to keep that energy. Lower yourself down really slow. Big exhale to reach everything out. You're doing great. Last few, stay strong, reach forward and down. Never losing the control, never using our momentum. We have last one, and bring it down. Abs get a break. Finally, we're moving on to glutes. We're going to do some bridging. I want your elbows wide for a chest press. Our heels are rooted. That ball is staying in place. You're going to squeeze to your glutes, lift your hips up to the ceiling. Give me 5 of these. We lift up, big exhale as you press those dumbbells to the ceiling. We're going to add on after the 5. After our 5th one, I want you to add on a releve. So you're going to come off of your heels and you're going to lift up. So everything lifts. You come just to the ball of your feet and lower it down. Lift and lower. Big exhale, elbows still really wide as we chest press up. Now I want you to hold that bridge really high and just tap those heels down. Heels are coming down, glutes are staying really active, also squeezing your inner thighs to hold onto that ball. You're lifting and lowering with those heels. Big exhale as you lift, inhale as it comes down, almost through, and hold. Now we're just squeezing on that ball, squeeze on the ball, squeeze, squeeze. All inner thighs here, hold everything high. Just squeeze your ball, you got this. Last few, finish strong, squeeze, squeeze, and bring it down. We made it to my favorite part of the bridge series. You're gonna take that ball, you're gonna place it under your right heel. We're gonna do a couple bridges up on that ball. It's going to challenge your stability. Really hard work for your right glute. Bridge up just like you were before, and I want your arms narrow for these. Instead of having that wide press, our elbows are close by your side. Bridge high. We're gonna hold coming up, really squeeze, lift lower. We hold. Once we hold high here, you're gonna roll that ball out while you stay rooted through your left foot. So you're rolling that right leg out, pulling it in. Hips stay really high, squeezing, dumbbells stay to the ceiling. Press even harder through that left heel, really roll that ball back. It's okay if you lose connection with the ball at some point. Just try to keep your leg connected as you roll it forward. So reset the placement of your leg. Last 3 here. Pull it in for 2. Last one. Pull it in strong and lower it down. I don't know about you, but this is a point when my glutes were really screaming at me, but we are gonna finish strong. We're gonna hit the other side. So let's find our left foot in connection to that ball. Right foot is on your mat. We're gonna start with that chest press. So elbows really narrow, close by your side, narrow chest press as you reach those dumbbells to the ceiling. We are challenging our glute, remember, with that instability. So I want you to really press through that left foot as you squeeze to lift yourself up. Your right leg is just there as an anchor, but you're really challenging your left side as you press into that ball and lower it down. Really pushing those dumbbells to the ceiling. We have those ball rolls coming up. Stick with it, really press and bring it up. So now we're reaching our toes forward, anchoring now through our right heel. So our right heel is what's keeping our glutes and our pelvis lifted. And speaking of our pelvis, I want you to really think about keeping your pelvis level here. So not letting one side of your hip fall below the other. Everything is super level as we draw that foot forward and back. That's what's adding to the challenge, really focusing on keeping our hips level, pressing through that heel while we're creating some motion as we reach that ball forward and back. We have our last few together here. Last one, pull it in, reach it out, and bring it down. This next one is a big stability challenge, so if you need to modify, you're going to do it without the dumbbells. But if you're up for the challenge, you're going to take the dumbbells and double them so it's heavier. Left knee on the ball, left toes curled under. I want you to row your elbow. So left elbow coming back, you're rowing through your lats, your upper body to pull those dumbbells in. And then we're going to incorporate a lift and lower of our toes. So as you row, now I want your right toes to come down towards your mat and you squeeze to your glute to lift. So we're rowing as we lift, really focusing on stabilizing through our core here. We lift it up and down, really squeezing through that glute, squeezing through the back of your shoulder. And then we're gonna put those dumbbells aside. I want you to keep your left knee where it is. We're gonna do some donkey kicks with our right leg. So I want your foot flex, flat to the ceiling, like you're trying to stamp your socks or the sole of your foot on the ceiling. You're gonna squeeze your glute, you're gonna pull that knee up in line with your hips, and then you're gonna lower it back down right below your hips. So stabilizing here through your trunk. We're gonna find some pulsing coming up. Let's pulse high on the next one. So we're gonna reach that leg up. Give me some pulses here. We pulse and pulse, really squeezing through your glute. Keep your core in tight, belly pulled towards your spine, and lower it down. You know the deal. What we do on one side, we must do on the other. So let's go ahead and move that ball to our right knee. So we're balancing on the ball with our right knee. Our right toes are curled under. We're gonna re-grab our dumbbells. Remember, double stacking them so it's a little heavier. You're going to extend your left leg out for a balance challenge. You're gonna pull your elbow back as you row your elbows, and you're just keeping your left leg long and pointed for this one. We pull our elbows up, activating through our upper back, lower it down. I also want you to think about really squeezing through your glute to give you the stability you need as you stabilize to row up and down. Now we're ready for adding in that lift and lower. So now we're gonna lift and lower through that left leg, letting your toes come down towards the ground as you row your elbow up and down, keeping your core in tight, keeping your hips and shoulders really square before we transition to those donkey kicks. Now, I forget to film this on the other side, so pretend like this ball is underneath my right knee. You're gonna keep that right knee on the ball while you lift your left knee up for your donkey kicks. You're keeping your knee at a 90-degree bend, slow and control, finding the balance on that ball. Your toes stay curled under. We're gonna find a pulse coming up. I want you to hold it high after this next one. We're gonna hold it. We lift and lower, really squeezing through. This would be your left glute that you're squeezing as you pulse, and bring it down. Take a second to reset. Quick child's pose here. Grab some water as needed. We're going to slightly change our body positioning. We are going to take it to kneeling, and I want you to place that ball back between your thighs. So it's in your inner thighs and you're actively squeezing on that ball. We're taking those dumbbells. You're going to give me a tricep extension, so extending your arms behind, followed by a shoulder press. And while you're doing this, you're hip thrusting forward. As you hip thrust, I really want you to think about squeezing through your glutes to bring those hips forward. Big exhale as you reach up for the sky with those dumbbells. Inhale as you hinge back. So keep repeating this motion here. Long arms, really squeeze through your glutes. And we're gonna finish off here with a back hinge and some little tiny pulses for our triceps. So give me smaller bends to your elbow here. Squeezing on that ball as we send those hips back, keeping that chest low, really squeezing through those triceps. For this next set, you're gonna give me a thigh stretch, reaching your body back in a straight line, shoulder raise as you thigh stretch, so sending it back, core in tight, raising those shoulders up high. And then we're gonna transition into a row. So I want you to do the same thing. Your body's staying really long and solid. Think about hinging from your knees here. You're twisting as you rotate, pulling that dumbbell back. I want you to give a really big exhale as you press it forward. Inhale as you pull it back. It's almost like a bow and arrow. You're trying to rotate through your shoulders, keeping your core in really tight as you twist, squeezing through your glutes, stabilizing through your lower body, and rest. Now let's bring your body up right here, and I just want you to give me some external rotations through your shoulders. So your palms are facing the sky, you're still keeping a tight squeeze on that ball, and we're just reaching your arms out wide. Now let's make it into a big W, and I want you to press those dumbbells out. So you're keeping that external rotation, you're really reaching your arms out long here, and we're gonna hold high for some pulsing. Pulse to finish, and break. We're gonna finish our lower body segment standing. I want you to find a lateral lunge here on your right side. Bend deeply, trying to get to a 90-degree bend. You're gonna give me 5 of these launches. So you bend low with your right knee, and then you're gonna press off, fly that right leg out wide. 5 total reps here, trying to get your heart rate up a little bit. And then we're gonna grab for that Pilates ball. You're gonna take that Pilates ball, and I want you to place it underneath your right heel. Those dumbbells are still in your hand. You're gonna find a backwards lunge. So you're gonna reverse lunge back and step forward. So that ball under your heel is really challenging your right side, challenging your stability. You're giving a nice bicep curl to those dumbbells as you come low, trying to get both knees to 90 degrees here. We're gonna find some low pulses with our legs. So I want you to pulse just with your legs, and then we're gonna pulse just with our arms. So I want you to pulse your arms up. Final pulses we're gonna do here is to slam that heel down towards the floor. So we're pulsing that heel like we're trying to pop the ball. Now let's find that lateral lunge on our left side. So deep bend to your left leg, then you launch off that left foot, trying to pick up the pace a little bit here, really trying to fly that left leg out wide. We have 5 total of these before we find that Pilates ball, and we're gonna bring it under our left heel. Let's grab that Pilates ball, place it underneath that left heel. You're gonna give me those 5 reverse lunges. So we're stepping back, getting to a nice deep bend. Remember, both knees trying to get them to 90 degrees, stepping it back, bicep curling those arms. We have 5 total of those before we're gonna hold it low. As we come low here, we find that pulse on this next one. You're gonna give me those pulses up and down, getting a nice deep bend to both of your knees. Then you're gonna hold low, and I want you to pulse just your arms. So you're raising your elbows up to the ceiling. You pulse, give me 5 of those before we finish with 5 of those heel taps. So we're really trying to pop that ball with our heel, pressing it as hard as we can into the ground. Finishing here with a little bit more lateral work. I want you to pick up the pace here, really try to get your heart rate up. We're gonna lean to one side for a lateral lunge and try to stay low, and you're gonna rotate, open up to the ceiling. We're gonna row those arms in between each. So we're twisting side, rowing, twisting side, and try to get a nice cadence to it here as you lean. Heart rate's getting up. Try to stay low as you squat to sit those hips down and back behind. Rotating again through your upper thoracic spine here as you twist. Leaning from one side to the other so you can make it a little bit quicker, maybe sit a little bit lower. You got this. Stay strong. Last few here. Twist and rotate, twist and rotate. We made it to the end. Our final series of this workout, we're gonna finish with a nice core burner. Let's start first with a plank hold, slight tuck under to your pelvis, hold your core in tight. Hold here. Now I want you to widen the stance of your feet. You're gonna bend your knees down towards your mat, use your low abs, extend those legs long. Bend your knees together, down and up, down and up. Then I want you to go one knee at a time. Let your hip lower a little side to side. As we hold that core really solid, lower it down and up, down and up. Now let's find some plank walk-ups. I want you to walk up to your hands, walk down to your elbows. Try to alternate what hand is going down first or what elbow is going down first with each and every rep. Great way to get your heart rate up. It's truly full body, so you're getting everything working hard here. Hold, give yourself a second. Now we're gonna finish with some plank jacks here. I want you to tap your feet out. You can go both feet out if you want more of a challenge, or just tap side to side. This is our last move of the workout. Stay strong, keep those hips low, keep that core in tight. Don't forget to breathe. Flex through your quads. and bring it down. We are done. Great work today, guys. Give yourself a second, do a little stretch. I really hope you guys enjoyed this workout as much as I enjoyed it. Not gonna lie, I was sore for 3 days after doing this one. It was super challenging. I'm really proud of you for how you showed up on your mat today. Let me know if there's any other workouts that you'd like to see, and I'll catch you guys next time.